and welcome back to RC Dirt Oval, the podcast. I am your host, Andy Zeller, and I welcome you back for episode number 2 here of the podcast. Our guest today, Howard Young of Ultimate RC Pitstop. Deb came along with him, joined him, and sat off camera, but super thankful for them to come support the podcast and excited to bring you this episode. So, again, thank you so much to them, and looking forward to discussing their big race coming up. To start off, would like to review this past week, and LCRC had their cancer race this past weekend and raised, wait for it, $26,145 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Wow, and wow. Well done, Kevin, Krista, the whole LCRC crew. Wow, that is just incredible and something truly wonderful that as a community we could impact something like children's health like that in that type of way. I mean, that's a salary to give to St. Jude's Children's Hospital and let them work their magic. So again, well done, LCRC. It's incredible to see the community come together and do something like that. And just wow. Very, very cool. Hopefully I can get involved for next season, next year when you guys do that race. So if you're watching this, you see this, please reach out and remind me whenever you're getting everything together for that race. I'd love to be a part of it and help in any way that I can. So LCRC, again, kudos, applause to you guys. Everybody watching this, make sure you shout them out and show the appreciation for what they did, because that's pretty incredible. So outside of that, Little Dega down in Alabama had the Papa Willie's Rubber Tire Nationals, and we had a couple PA drivers make the trip and represent Pennsylvania, and represent they did. Emily Souter picked up the win in the novice class, never touched that track before, and was not in the kids class. Mind you, Emily, for those of you that don't know her, Emily is a 10-year-old, just started racing last year, and her and her family travel, as far as they can or want to go to race all around the area. And she went down and just did amazing and won the novice race, first place. Well done, Emily. We're so proud of you. And Dad, Steve, got to make the A main in the Traxxas mod, so he was very happy about that, and rightfully so. And they were joined by a couple underdogs. Will Lappa and Todd Ravel both made the trip down there. Will Lappa finished 9th of 17 in midget, 27th of 36 in late model, and that was the first time he's ever driven a late model, and 22nd of 31 in mod sprint. Todd Ravel finished 7th of 19 in midget, 17 of 36 in late models, and 14 of 31 in mod sprint. So everybody that made the trip down did very well and represented us great. Thank you so much for showing everybody out there what PA is capable of and how we do stuff up here. Us Yankees can get her done sometimes. So well done. Congratulations to everybody that made the trip down there. Glad you had a good time. Hope you got back easy, and I know it's always worse driving home after all the fun's over. So glad to have you guys back, and again, congratulations. The Bandit late model class was able to travel to Stobbs this past Saturday. 9 cars showed up, and we ran all 9 cars in the main event. Super clean main event. Everybody finished the race. Tight competitive racing the whole way through. So thanks to Scott for having the Bandit late model class there. It was a ton of fun, and thanks to Justin Mong and Brad Kress, I think, for advocating to bring it. So appreciate everybody involved in that, and hope to see the Bandit late model travel to some other tracks then next year. So without further ado, I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes of this episode, and that is, as I mentioned, Ultimate RC Pitstop and Howard Young, their owner. We're going to get to the interview with him, and then I'll be back with some results after that. So enjoy. So I'm here today with my awesome guest, Howard Young. He's joining us from Ultimate RC Pitstop. How you doing, Howard?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for the invite, Andy.
Of course, we're happy to have you here, and we're gonna go over some questions and go over some details for you got a big race coming up possibly this weekend or next, right?
We do. It's our COVID cancer race, which is a cause that's near and dear to me, as well as Jim McKeenan, who's actually promoting the race. I'm very excited about this race.
Absolutely, biggest one of the year
For us, it will be. Yeah.
Awesome. So when did you guys first open up Ultimate RC Pit Stop, and where are you located?
We're located in Sacred Spring, Pennsylvania. We opened up in 2017.
All right, and you guys are kind of like crossing that high bite line.
We are, yes.
gripped up loose dirt.
Yep.
So obviously that's a change from I think last year track wise.
It is.
Okay.
It's a change from halfway through this year.
Okay, so that was halfway this year. You decided. Okay, awesome. So you got a new kind of surface there to check out. What people do you think would like your track the most?
Everybody that comes, I wouldn't say everybody, a lot of the people that come really like the track. They like the environment. Since we switched it up from a looser dirt surface to more of a high bite surface, we see the racing has improved. The racing's much better.
Okay.
There's not as many crashes. Our corner marshals are doing less work. We definitely settled the dust down that we were having an issue with around our track. So overall, we're very pleased with the changes.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like good stuff. So somebody that wants to go faster would probably like that car that track because their car's going to be hooked up more, so it's going to get more drive.
Correct.
And makes the setup game a little easier than it used to be. I know when I came last year, it was very gripped up in the groove, but then if you got outside of that groove, you were kind of like out to lunch and spinning.
Andy, with the new track surface, our groove is 3-4 foot wide.
That's awesome.
You can get out of the groove to let the faster guys pass, and you're still under control with your car. You're not spinning out. It's just much better racing.
So with that type of surface, do you think that that's maybe better for little ones starting to learn the hobby, or adults, anybody that's getting into it? Like in your experience as a racer, because obviously you've raced on your old surface, on your new surface now, is that something that's maybe a little easier to learn on?
We think it is.
Right on.
We think it is.
Yeah, I think at least from my experience, I think that it's definitely good to learn on loose dirt, but it's going to be a lot easier to learn on high bite. But either way, I feel like you got to be prepared because you're going to hit the loose dirt challenges at some point with the area and the different tracks that we have around. But
well, the people making comments about loose dirt, I don't think it's possible to make a consistent loose dirt with the type of material we have in this area.
Right.
You'll get a groove in the corners, a narrow groove, get outside of the groove, just like you said earlier. It's dusty. It's when the cars are spinning out. I just think that there's no loose dirt tracks in Pennsylvania.
Right. It's true. I mean, even First Capital, my track is pretty gripped up for the most part until we tear it up and then gets gripped up again. So you're kind of just skipping the beginning stages of when the track isn't good usually. So
I mean, since we changed what we do to the surface, I have not had to turn our track up in the last 5-6 weeks. The rain that we had last night, we got dumped on. Right down there, the track was perfect this morning.
That's awesome. So it's a hard, just gripped up surface. Obviously, that being an upgrade and a change this year, and like you said, it was halfway through. You guys made a bunch of other changes. I know I saw online you were doing the driver stand. You got that elevated up and
the scoring tower. We upgraded the scoring tower. Our announcer Debbie,
right.
deserved much better. It's nicer now. It has the air conditioner. It's elevated. It has the awning, and it's just to improve the overall experience when you're coming to Ultimate. Right. Our location being right where we are, we have the fast food places, at nighttime racing with the stadium lights, the light trees. The racers feel like they're at a real
facility.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
like a real big facility.
Not downing any other track. It's a different
Certainly.
experience coming to it.
Oh, we're talking about yours. That's the whole point of this episode is use this to sell Ultimate RC Pitstop. That's what we're trying to do here. Give people an introduction, and we're gonna have other track owners and stuff on to do the same thing, and everybody get to talk and give the different reasons why. Obviously, we want racers to have their go-to home tracks, but we obviously want everybody in the community to be able to travel around and stuff too. There shouldn't be just only one track that you go to.
Agreed.
And I think that's what this episode is really going to help start to show and pave the way for. So obviously, those upgrades. Anything else that you plan on doing either this year or next year?
To the oval or just the facility itself?
The facility itself.
This year we put in an off-road track.
Right.
We've been working on the off-road track. I think we ran 3 races. We have not had large car counts by any means because it's a new track. However, the people that we have had come are very respectable in the off-road racing.
Right.
Our track, we are focusing on just 10 scale races instead of 8th and 10 scale. The comment's been made, let's make 10 scale off-road racing great again.
Oh, awesome.
So
I'm a fan of that tagline.
Yep. That's a plus for us. We're going to continue improving on the off-road track out back. We already started ordering material to dress up the shop on the outside.
Okay.
Fix the shop on the outside, and over the winter we plan on doing enclosures for the big driver stand, roof,
Awesome.
back wall.
Very cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys are always updating, always making the facility look nice. I know at the beginning of the season, I remember seeing, you're painting everything.
Yep.
Everything's always looking top notch, and that's something that, drivers certainly will appreciate coming to your facility and getting into the new game and doing the off-road stuff is cool to have other options and, ways to cross over customers. So both directions, if somebody's racing your oval every week and they like, oh, hey, what's that off-road track in the back? They can go check that out. And likewise, people that are only used to off-road tracks, maybe they come in and check out the oval.
We talked about that with some of our oval racers, and we talked about that with the off-road guys coming, of having a mini series.
That would be cool.
Right. Both drivers running both tracks.
Right.
1 week it would be the off-road, the next week it would be the oval road. Keeping points for both tracks under 1 point standing to see who can master each class.
Right. That's awesome. That's a very cool idea. Yeah. So I guess to focus on what we originally had you come here for is the COVID Cancer Kick-Ass 50.
Yep.
I'm going to try and avoid swearing at all other costs, but we'll allow the title of the race. When did that race first start?
This is our second race, but it started 3 years ago. We had to skip a year because of the COVID.
Right.
And that kind of slowed things down, and we took a year off. So this is actually the 3rd year, but the second race.
Awesome. And you mentioned Jim McKeon does a great job. I mean, we can actually take a second and go over this part. I have, for those watching on camera, I have like half a page here and another top fifth of a page that is just back to back all of the sponsors. And I am, much to some listeners' unappreciation, I am going to read every single sponsor that you guys have for this race because it's truly remarkable stuff. Papa Willie's, MR Customs, FDJ Tire Prep, A Main Hobbies, ProTech RC, BAM Speed, Parkland Hobbies, JRPRC, MFR Mudboss, TBID, Alpha Pace, GT Bodies, SMC Batteries, Rip Motorsports, Team GFRP, Custom Works, Racing Dots, Rotoron, Kips Hobbies, WNRC Speedway, Team Power Products, Pheasantland RC Park, R1 Works, BBM Performance and Parts, Sipple Speed Shop, Outlaw Enduro Series, Miller Racing Products, Saracen Design, Boca Bearings, KHD Speed Lab, Donathan RC, Jersey Racing Promotions, and I'm not even like a quarter of the way through this list. So hang in there.
Race Ready Products, Welk Racing Tires, Extreme RC Bodies, Team Tactical RC, TCR, TTB, Power Lab, Bulldog Race Bodies, The Stand RC Speedway, White Rose Hobbies, McAllister Racing, Peak Boss, LMH Designs, The Factory RC Raceway, Kimbrough Racing Products, Underdog Oval RC, Talent in a Bottle, Wolf Mobile RV, Grandview Speedway, Honor Furniture, I don't know how to say that, but I'm sorry. MRD Motorsports, AC Racing, Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway, True Line Graphics, Macri Motorsports, Undercover Race Bodies, Hitman Racing Products, Briggs Danner Racing, Z-Main Tire Prep, Hyperion Tire Prep, PRP Tire Solutions, Kozo Race Products, Gibson Racing Products, Triple PRC, Stacked RC, Heligraphics, Linda Speedway, Macklin, That Ghost Car, Gutschel Automotive, High Roller Bearing Company, Billy Nye Racing, Richie Hartman Racing, Farron Family R&D, FG Motors, Fusion Motorsports, Excel Motorsports, D&J Speed Shop, Shellhammer Dirt Track, Naughty Boy RC, Ruby Performance Products, 3DT Printing, Rocket Chassis, Vision Racing Products, Bobby Pierce Racing, LCRC Raceway, DRF Shop RC Racing, Drop-In RC Tire Washer, Cheaters Inc., Shark Racing, Balanced Speed Racing Suspension, Jim Chisholm Racing, Easy Clean Tire Washing Station, Reinhardt Racing Products, Amato's Pizza and Pasta, Barbecue Pit, Troyer Dirt Cars, Driven Chassis, RTS Chassis, Jen's Ace, Redner's Warehouse Markets, Bicknell Racing Products, Race Tech RC Body, Salvis Mudboss, Ram Pop Vending, Rip Current Raceway Club, Mike Rice Trucking, Evax Graphics, McIntyre Tree Service, Dave Bodine, Heating and Cooling, Ultimate RC Pitstop, and Raptor Awards. That is an insane list of sponsors, and that should be so telling of not only Jim McKeon's efforts, but how much this race really means to the RC community. And you mentioned briefly when we were talking off camera about your struggle with cancer and how this race is near and dear to your heart, and obviously what different ways can we make this race help those others that have been impacted from cancer?
Well, just in general, what the track has done for me, my cancer battle was 3.5 years, 3 years chemo. It gave me something to look forward to. It kept me motivated. That's what it does for me. The COVID, Jim's brother, Dennis, suffered a bad COVID episode, Russ Lebo.
Right.
There's so many of us in the racing community that, either know somebody or personally has battled cancer, know somebody or personally battled COVID. Debbie and myself lost a very good friend, Kenny, up at the campground about a year ago. It's a great cause. The race sounds so excited, I might even have to go to it.
Right. Absolutely. And it's always awesome. You mentioned Russ Lebo, yep, and the support that we as a RC community have been able to put together for him. It's such a great thing to see a hobby community of, a bunch of adult people that love playing with toy cars really come together and support each other in great ways like this. So,
I think, the race format, I'm not exactly sure on the hours when we start, when we're taking a break. Jim McKeon and myself talked. I think sometime, we're going to run the lower qualifying rounds. And I think, give or take, depending on the car count, give 3-4 o'clock, hoping to have all the qualifying rounds in and done. At that point in time, we're going to shut down the track. And that's why we're going to do a lot of the raffles, a lot of the door prizes.
Right.
Give time for people to, rest up, work on their cars, eat, feed their bellies. We would kind of like to, I don't want to say drag it out, but delay it before we start the lower mains because we are right before the lower mains. Our game plan is to salute the people that we know that either battled cancer or battled COVID, play the national anthem, and then right after the national anthem, we have a huge fireworks display that we're going to be setting off.
Oh, man. I hope you have somebody appropriate to set those off and not just one of us RC guys.
Right.
Is it you? Oh, man, I don't know about that. I'm going just to see what happens.
Me and a bunch of friends with lighters.
Uh-oh. We cannot guarantee anybody's safety when it comes to this fireworks display, but no, that is awesome. I'm definitely trying to get out there with Archer and encourage anybody with little ones, bring them out, even if they don't want to race, come out to hang out, have a good time. And so right now the weather's a little maybe for Friday, Saturday of this week. So possibly you said you're going to make a decision by Thursday. So this episode will have already aired. So it's either going to be this weekend or next weekend. They can find that information on your Facebook page. Any other big races then before the end of the season?
No. This is our last big race for the year. We do know Steve Salvos was at our track last weekend, and we are in talks for a Mudboss National for next year.
Awesome.
As well as another COVID cancer race. So
right, very good. So any real goals to end this out? I guess any real goals for this race, the rest of the season, maybe heading into next season, what we can expect to see moving forward?
Andy, we're going to continue racing for as long as we can outdoors. We got a lot of local racers, that don't like to travel during the winter, that just want to continue racing. Right. Kerry Siegfried, for example, he's been a loyal racer to us. He's been to almost every one of our races. His son, Lauren, has 183. Lauren's coming to our track this weekend.
Right.
So we just think we think we're going to have a lot of track owners, hopefully yourself and some of your racers join us.
Right.
Lauren, some of his races are going to join us. We just think it's a good time for us track owners to start working together.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. That's obviously why this episode and this show is really taking place. I mean, I mentioned it in the last episode, we're in an area that's so blessed and lucky to have all of these tracks together within an arm's reach. And at some point, if we all work together and we encourage this person to go to this track and this person to go to this track. And I think, some of these series that are running are certainly helping that cause. But stepping up as track owners like us and being able to work together and co-promote really is I think a huge ticket to everybody's success and really the reason that we're doing this is so that everybody can come out and have a good time. And when there's, a bunch of people having some really awesome competitive racing, that's about as good as it gets, So hopefully a lot of people will come out, check it out this weekend or possibly next for the COVID Cancer Kick-Ass 50. If not, hopefully they get out to Ultimate before the end of the year.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Howard. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the results and then the weekend look forward to and close out the show. But again, thank you so much for your time, and it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Thank you again to Howard and Deb for their support with the podcast, and I hope everybody enjoyed that exchange and all the information on their race and their track. And again, thank you so much for their participation, and we hope to have them on then again so we can kind of dial in on some other stuff that they are a part of up there at Ultimate. So again, thanks to them, and I'm going to go ahead and start going over the results of this past week. Staub Brothers, as I mentioned, raced Saturday, 17.5 sprint. John Berkebile was third. Dwayne Wenzel was second, and Nate Gill was pitted next to him. He got the win in 17.5. Good job, Nate. 21.5 late model, Fonz Fentrick got third. Gary Miller second. John McDaniel first. Bandit late model Tyler Worthen was third. David Worthen was second. And Sean Good, the Bandit boss himself, got her done. 13.5 Mudboss, Nathan Beard
got third. Owen Wise, first time at Stobbs, finished second. And John Berkebile got the win. Midget, Fons Ventrick was third. Louis Pavlovec was second. And Casey Hess got the win. 17.5 late model, Scott Staub was third. Mike Reinhardt second. Dan Shaper was in first. And in sportsman, Riley Speidel, first time. That kiddo was there, and she got third. David Worthen second, and Tyler Worthen got the win. Ultimate RC Pit Stop ran on Sunday, 13.5 sprint. Sean Horning was third. Rick Cox second. Kevin Kuzer was first. Midget, John Pauly was third. Jay Batdorf was second, and Brett Hollinger got the win. Mini Mudboss was Richard Reyes in third. Matt Kirkpatrick in second, and John Pauly got the win. Mod Late Model, Mike Kritzer was in third. Richard Reyes was second, and Joshua Truitt got the win. Mod Mudboss, which sounds very entertaining and interesting. Joshua Truitt was third. Richard Reyes was second, and Mike Kritzer was first. Mod Sprint was Cameron Fleurer in third. Lou Ciccone in second, and Phil Cooper, shocker, got the win. Novice was Levi Eberly and Tim Diebler. Savage, Jimmy Fulton, and Matt Kirkpatrick. Stock Mudboss was Jimmy Fulton in third, Kerry Siegfried in second, and Matt Kirkpatrick in first. Traxxas Mod was Richard Reyes third, Joshua Truitt second, and Kerry Siegfried got the win. Sunday also First Capital raced. 13.5 Mudboss was Joe Schrader, Owen Wise, and Chris Speidel got the win. Mod Sprint third was Landon Godfrey, second Joe Schrader, Paul Schweitzer got the win. Bandit Late Model third was myself, Barney Tan was second, and Shane Holtzapple was first. Midget, Paul Schweitzer was third, Shane Holtzapple second, and Owen Wise first. Mudboss, Barney Tan was in third, Joe Schrader second, and Chris Speidel got the win. Novice was Archer Zeller in third, Cody Fiddler second, and Riley Speidel first. Traxxas Modified, third was myself, Mike Yasovsky was in second, and Barney Tan got the win. Tuesday, we moved to Pheasantland. I think that was the only weekday racing this week with all of the weather that's been around. Tuesday, Pheasantland 12T Sportsman Mudboss Charlie Reisner was third, Jonathan Bullock was second, and Paige Brady got the win. 13.5 Sprint was Corey Milligan in third, Kevin Kuzer second, Brian Stout in first. BL2, Ray Horning was third, Pete Ludwig was second, and Joe Ilg got the win. Traxxas Modified was Mike Yon in third, Gary Labe in second, and Dave Green got the win. As we mentioned during the interview with Ultimate, the decision was made today on Thursday. That race will be moved to October 4th and 5th. So make sure you mark your calendars and make arrangements so you're able to go participate there. October 4th is Friday, and October 5th for the COVID Cancer Kick-Ass 50. Pheasantland is going to try and race tonight, Friday, that you're seeing it. So Friday night, they're going to race on the big track. Stobbs and Loco Joe's have both not made announcements of canceling yet. I guess they're going to ride out this weather and see if they're able to get something in. Loco Joe's, I believe, having their fall points trophy presentation after races, or if they don't race, I guess would be later in that afternoon. So make sure to keep update with those social media profiles for Stobbs and Loco Joe's to see if they get their races in on Saturday. I believe 997 has a pretty decent race on Friday as well for people that do carpet racing. Sunday, there will be no racing at Ultimate RC Pit Stop, as well as First Capital. Nothing scheduled for Sunday. So pretty wet weekend here coming forward, but we'll see if anybody can get some racing in. Hopefully we can get the itch taken or controlled over the weekend here. Hopefully we can take care of the itch somewhere this weekend with all the weather that's going on. But otherwise, I hope everybody has a great Friday. Get out of the work here sooner than later. and set up for a wonderful weekend. Have a great week next week. And our next episode has been filmed already with Preston Selfinger. So that will be next Friday's release. And good episode there. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys that, and good discussion and talk about everything with the Underdog group and the series and all that stuff. So thank you to Preston. Thank you to everybody out there who's been following along with this. Make sure to subscribe. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Give this video a like and comment. Share it with people. If you're on any of the other platforms, such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, make sure that you interact with it on there. Leave a leave a review, and that certainly will help out the podcast and help us grow. You can find us on Facebook. We don't have a designated URL yet for the podcast. I think it's either a time limit or a number of likes that we need until we can successfully give ourselves a username. I don't know what the rules are on that, but as soon as we are able, we'll make a designated URL and we'll be sure to share that on here. But whatever you can do to get this out there, I'd love to have a large audience to help the people that I have on this podcast exposed to hopefully more people in the community and outside the community. So again, thank you so much for everybody that has participated thus far, all the people that have followed and joined this cause. I appreciate it greatly, and look forward to doing this every single week for you guys. And until next time, we'll bring you the next one next Friday. And until then, you guys have a good one. Thanks.